The Legend of Zelda is more than just a game franchise. It's a cultural icon, a series that's grown, evolved, and lasted across generations. When you look at the history of gaming, Zelda doesn't just stand as a landmark. It's a blueprint, a model of what games can aspire to be. But what is it that makes The Legend of Zelda so universally acclaimed? Why has it captivated players so deeply and for so long? At the core of Zelda is exploration. An exploration that's built not just on the surface level of gameplay, but on a philosophy of freedom and discovery. Zelda games don't handhold. They don't steer you down a narrow path. Instead, they create worlds that are alive, where every corner, every crevice has something to offer. The Zelda series, especially Breath of the Wild, invites players to wander and, more importantly, rewards that curiosity. Unlike other games that fill the world with checklist objectives, Zelda's exploration is organic. There's a sense that the player is discovering things for themselves, rather than following a preordained trail. Breath of the Wild embodies this with its open world design, letting players approach its vast landscape as they wished. Want to climb that tree? Go ahead. The game doesn't just allow exploration, it respects it, making the player feel like a true adventurer in a world that they can shape with their choices. Zelda's gameplay is often praised for its balance, and this is a major reason why the series remains so captivating. The mix of exploration, combat, and puzzles is finely tuned in every entry, creating a rhythm that's both challenging and satisfying. Unlike games that focus too heavily on action or story, Zelda finds a way to interlace gameplay mechanics in a way that feels holistic, engaging every part of the player's mind. Combat isn't just about button mashing, it's about strategy, timing, and sometimes even creativity. Each enemy has its own pattern and weakness, and the player must adapt, often using tools that they've gathered along the way. Then there are puzzles, which range from environmental challenges to intricate brain teasers. These elements don't just add variety, they keep the player engaged on multiple levels, striking a balance that few games can achieve. Zelda's dungeons are iconic, and for good reason. Each dungeon feels like its own self-contained adventure, complete with unique challenges, atmospheric design, and often a specific item that unlocks new ways to interact with the world. These dungeons are carefully designed, not just as obstacles, but as extensions of the game's world and story. Solving a Zelda dungeon isn't about brute force. It's about using your mind, analyzing patterns, and thinking creatively. These are challenges that respect the player's intelligence. And when you finally unlock the path forward or defeat that daunting boss, there's a sense of accomplishment that few games can match. It's not just about overcoming obstacles, it's about growth, skill, and mastery. Music has always been integral to The Legend of Zelda. From the moment Koji Kondo's first notes played on the original game, Zelda has built a reputation for music that isn't just background noise, it's part of the world, shaping the player's emotional experience. Whether it's the calm tones of Kakariko Village, the stirring theme of Hyrule Field, or the haunting melody of the Temple of Time, the music creates an atmosphere that stays with you long after you've put the controller down. Every Zelda game builds its identity around its music. These tunes don't just set the scene, they echo the game's themes and emotion. The soundtrack is part of why Hyrule feels like a real, lived-in world, one where players feel at home, yet constantly in awe. Zelda games also represent innovation. Over the years, Nintendo has used Zelda to push the boundaries of game design. Ocarina of Time introduced 3D targeting mechanics that would go on to influence countless games. Majora's Mask explored an intricate time loop mechanic that brought an entirely new layer of depth, and Breath of the Wild redefined what open world games could be, challenging conventions with a world driven by player choice. This willingness to innovate while respecting the core of what makes Zelda great is a rare thing in the gaming world. Nintendo continuously experiments with the series, never allowing it to stagnate. The result is a franchise that feels timeless, constantly evolving, yet always true to itself. So what makes The Legend of Zelda so special? It's not one thing. It's a carefully crafted blend of exploration, storytelling, gameplay, dungeons, music, and innovation. It's a series that respects the player's intelligence, rewards curiosity, and offers both a mythic and personal experience. And Zelda games aren't just about being the hero, they're about feeling like a hero. They're about venturing into a world of wonder, challenge, and discovery. A world that somehow feels like it's your own. And that's why, generation after generation, Zelda remains one of the greatest stories ever told.